The Faceless Woman has always been part of Asian ghost culture, appearing in movies as menacing entities ready to take your life, usually in a red or white dress, with long dark hair covering their face, having no eyes, no nose, no mouth, floating about. I've always had a fear of the Faceless Woman, so grab a blanket, turn off your lights, and let's hear 3 stories where people have had encounters with this ever so haunting entity. The Faceless. I was wondering if anyone reading this has had an experience like this. It did not happen to me, but it happened to my friends in high school, and I consider all 3 of them credible witnesses. None used drugs, drank only sparingly, and although all 3 had encounters with the supernatural before, they were not obsessed with it. I won't use their names to protect their identity and mine, but this happened one spring night during 1986 in Cambridge. My friends were joyriding around this town, which was small then, so small it only had a whopping 2 stoplights. It was sometime around 2:30 to 3 a.m. in the morning when my friends pulled up to the first light on Main Street. There was a car stopped next to them, a rarity at that time and place. When my friends looked over, they saw the driver and sole inhabitant of the car was a woman with long dark hair and no face, no eyes, nose, lips, nothing but a smooth surface. Needless to say, my buddies were completely freaked out. The light turned green and the faceless woman drove off. But being 17-year-old males, my friend had more courage than sense. They chased after her. On that deserted street, there was no way they could have mistaken that car for another. They caught up to her at the next light, and when they looked at her, the woman had changed into an old man with glasses. My friends drove that beat-up old van as fast as they could back home. This story has always stuck with me, and even more so over the years, as my wife recounted a similar encounter she had with a faceless being when she was in high school. In the future, I'll record that story here. So, anyone out there also seen a faceless? The Faceless Girl. It was the year 1997. I was in first year college and was taking up engineering in one of the state universities here in Manila. For me to get to school, I'd have to wait for a PUJ, public utility jeep, along Rizal Avenue, because that is the only jeep that will pass near our school. I was waiting for a PUJ around 6:15 a.m. because I had a physics class at 7. I was not in a hurry, so I was waiting for a jeepney that was not full. As I was waiting, a cab stopped in front of me. The driver was like waiting for a passenger when I noticed a girl at the back part of the cab. I just told myself that they might be waiting for the girl's companion. I hailed a jeep and went to school. Apparently, the cab that stopped in front of me earlier drove by and stopped right next to the PUJ that I was on. We stopped at a stoplight. I looked. I noticed the girl again. And this is the part that freaked me out and made me almost go back home. The girl was faceless. I also noticed that the cab driver didn't know that he had a passenger because he kept on stopping to bystanders to try his luck for a real passenger. Let me describe you the girl. She had shoulder-length hair and had no eyes, no ears, no nose, no facial features whatsoever. Just a black hole where the face should be. Since I was freaked out, and I couldn't go back home anymore, I looked away from the cab. Then the jeepney drove off. I arrived at school 10 minutes before my class, and eventually forgot what happened. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I didn't know what it was that I encountered. Any inputs would be welcome. Thanks, and God bless. The Faceless Woman. I'm sorry if I'm not able to share my story in a more correct manner. I'm not good in sharing stories. So here goes my next story. Ever since we moved to another house, I started to see this woman. The first time I saw her was when we were moving our things inside the house. I was with my sister that time. I was helping her with her things when I saw this woman who was wearing a white dress. She looked about the age of 20-something, not more than 30 years old. I was not able to look at her face, but I started to feel very strange. My sweat was so cold and I had goosebumps. Then my sister asked me what was wrong, and I asked her if she could see the woman. She told me that there was no woman, and I started to get scared. I tried to look closer. The woman was still there and wasn't moving an inch. Then I looked at my sister, and when I looked back at the woman, she was there no more. The second time I saw her was when I had a cold. I could not sleep because I kept sneezing, so I decided to go to the bathroom every time I got the feeling of sneezing. I did it almost twice, and when I was going to the bathroom for the third time, I felt cold. It was like all of a sudden I got rid of my cold. I was really shocked and paralyzed for a full whole minute. Then, I saw the woman standing in front of me. I could not see her face because her hair was covering it. I stood there, looking. I could not move or open my mouth. I felt weak, like I was going to cry. She was trying to get closer, so I switched the lights on. Then she disappeared. I felt relieved, and when I got back to bed, I fell asleep easily. Another instance when I saw the woman was when I was sleeping in the living room. I was doing my assignments, and I got tired and fell asleep on our couch. It was almost 11 or 12 p.m. at night when I suddenly woke up. I opened my eyes while I was still lying at the couch, and I was again terrified. I saw the woman at our dining room near the refrigerator, and what shocked me the most was when I saw her floating above the ground. It seemed that she did not have a face. I was totally freaked out that I kind of passed out. When I woke up, it was already morning. Now that I'm already 13, I can't see the woman anymore, but strange things still occur, like the door opening and closing, even if you've locked it already. I still don't know why that woman appeared to me, and what bothers me the most is that I'm the only one who can see her. And it's scary.